Even my butt is capable of making an analogy.
That is a terrible analogy.
Okay, well, let's just finish that analogy.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this Talk Word Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fascinating tool in the English language. Have you ever felt like you've got this absolutely brilliant idea just trapped inside your head, but you just can't find the right words to make someone else see it? Well, that's exactly the challenge we're tackling today. We're going to focus on bridging concepts and mastering the art of the English word analogy. You know, this isn't just your standard vocabulary lesson. It's really about unlocking a communication superpower that'll dramatically change how you connect in English. So let's get right into it. Think about your own language learning journey for just a second. How do you actually tackle the problem of explaining the unexplainable? Imagine you're trying to describe, say, a super complicated machine, a really deep emotion, or maybe a totally foreign cultural concept, but you just don't have the exact English vocabulary yet. It's incredibly frustrating, right? You end up waving your hands around, searching for words, kind of feeling stuck on this island of your own thoughts, while the other person just looks, well, confused. But what if you could build a bridge right into their mind, using words they already know? Okay, let's dive into section 1. What is an analogy? A communication tool. To solve this whole communication problem, we really need to understand the fundamental tool we have at our disposal. So to truly transform how you express yourself, let's look at the core definition. An analogy is basically a way to explain something complex by comparing it to something simple and familiar. Take a second to just let that sink in. It's not just saying two things are exactly the same. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a highly strategic tool for clarification. You're taking this big, intimidating, or abstract concept, and you're essentially telling your listener, hey, don't worry, this scary new thing operates exactly like this friendly, everyday thing you already understand. It's literally an instant shortcut to comprehension. Moving right along to section 2, tracing the word's origin, its historical evolution. You know, to truly master a word, it really helps to see where it actually came from. By tracing the historical journey of the word analogy, we can get a much better feel for how it functions in modern English and why it's such a heavy hitter for bridging that gap between confusion and understanding. The journey of this concept is just incredible. We start way back with its ancient Greek roots, analogia, which actually referred to a mathematical proportion, or ratio. So back then, it was strictly about finding the balance between numbers. But as it evolved historically, it shifted. It took on this broader sense of making a logical comparison between different things. And that brings us to our modern English usage. Today, an analogy isn't just some dusty math term. It is the absolute art of bridging concepts to explain ideas. Which brings us to section 3, bridging two different concepts and connecting ideas. And this brilliantly illustrates the core metaphorical journey of our explainer. For the rest of our time together, I want you to picture the analogy not just as some boring grammatical term from a textbook, but as a physical structure. Picture an actual, sturdy bridge that you're deliberately building between your mind and your listener's mind. On one side, you've got your starting point, the familiar concept. This is the solid ground of everyday knowledge that your listener already possesses, the stuff they feel totally comfortable with. On the other side is the unfamiliar concept. That's your destination, the new vocabulary or that difficult idea you're trying to teach them. The analogy is the structure that lets you safely cross over that rushing river of confusion. You ground the listener in what they know and securely walk them right over to what they don't know. Now for the fun part. Section 4, real-world usage examples. Let's see analogy in action. Okay, so theory is wonderful and understanding the history is great, but as language learners, we really need to see this in action to make it stick. We're going to look closely at how native English speakers actually construct and cross these linguistic bridges in their everyday lives. To see this in action, let's break down the actual problem-solving process step by step. Step 1, identify the complex idea. What exactly is the difficult thing you need to explain? Pin it down clearly in your head. Step 2, find a simple comparison. Just ask yourself, what common, everyday object does the exact same thing as this complex idea? And finally, step 3, link them together. This is where you use helpful English phrases like, is similar to, or think of it as. Honestly, if you follow these 3 steps, you can confidently explain almost anything, even if your vocabulary isn't 100% perfect yet. Let's see how this builds our conversational skills with 3 really punchy examples commonly used by native speakers. Example 1. Let's say someone asks you how a computer's central processing unit works. You say, the CPU is like the brain of the computer. Bam. Example 2. You're trying to explain how white blood cells function. You say, white blood cells act like the body's police force, fighting off intruders. Makes total sense, right? And example 3. Explaining the structure of an atom. You explain, An atom is structured a lot like our solar system, with planets orbiting the sun. Do you see how incredibly powerful that is? We literally took 3 complex scientific ideas and made them instantly clear to anyone. All right, wrapping things up with Section 5, the Talk Word Companion app, your language learning companion. So the crucial takeaway here is that an analogy is your ultimate communication shortcut. It empowers you to tackle literally any topic with absolute confidence, no matter where you are in your English journey. But before we go, I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought. What analogy describes your own language learning journey? Is learning English like building a house brick by brick? Or maybe it's like navigating a ship through a foggy sea until the sun finally comes out. I challenge you to take what we've learned today and build your very own concept bridge. Find an analogy that perfectly captures your personal experience with mastering this language. And hey, to keep building those bridges and expanding your vocabulary, make sure you download the Talk Word Companion app. It's an absolutely incredible tool where you can listen to captivating podcast-style explanations of literally any English word you're curious about. It is for sure the perfect, engaging way to seamlessly cross even more concept bridges and truly master the English language on your own time. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer today. Keep learning, keep building those bridges, and I'll catch you next time.